You're listening to Hey Pal, What's New with John, Alex, and Greg. Hey Pal, What's New is a product of Sack of Sin Entertainment. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Hey Pal, What's New can be found on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all other podcast locations. Or check us out at sackofsin.com or heypalwhatsnew.com. Warning, Hey Pal, What's New contains explicit content. John, Alex, and Greg are a pair of vulgar Gen Xers. If you are easily offended, please stop listening and go download a nice tame podcast like the Goop Podcast. You have been warned.
I was going to say, I thought it sounded like it was coming out of the TV.
All right. You know what else is coming out of the TV?
My balls.
My tits.
Touch.
Oh, yeah.
You got the power. Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Boogie Nights, come on.
I know.
Guess what, everybody? It's Friday night, and it's Hey Pal, What's New?
We're a little late, and this time it's my fault.
That's perfectly normal, perfectly healthy.
Look, in my defense, I had a guy at my house.
Mm-hmm.
My kids know him as Uncle Brendan.
Yes, we all love Uncle Brendan.
We also know him as Yukon Cornelius. Ignore. He was at my house installing the electric for Kate's kiln.
Yes.
Oh, boy. And we got to turn it on, and I put together the pottery wheel. So, Jar Jar Binks mask, here we go.
Oh, I can't
I think
wait.
I got to find me a Jar Jar Binks mask, though, before I do.
I will freaking Amazon that right now.
Okay.
Send that over. If we get to freaking Misa want you.
That's basically been my week, is hanging around the house playing Call of Duty,
Yeah.
picking up Brendan to do the electrical, and then it was raining, so he had to run the wire outside. What we wound up doing was, rather than run all new electric, I just like, dude, I don't even fucking use the hot tub, disconnect it.
Oh, okay.
So we drained the hot tub, and he disconnected it, and he took that lead and was just like, okay, instead of going the hot tub, it's going this way, and we'll go back into your house.
Yeah.
And there you go.
You sacrificed the hot tub for pottery.
It's not much of a sacrifice. I don't fucking use the thing, and it runs all day, every day.
Yeah, I know. Hot tubs are always good. We actually used to have one right out here. My father bought one, and I think I used it like once, maybe twice. I made the stupid mistake of like, it was actually me and my sister.
I mean, I've only had sex in it once.
Yeah.
What's the point then?
The DNA gets washed out with the chlorine.
No chlorine. We got the ozonator.
Oh, the ozonator.
Whatever the fuck that is.
The Ozarkinator. I hear you. No, we used to have one out there, and we made the stupid mistake of like, let's go in it in Christmas when it's like snowing out, and then flew. It was perfectly fine until you get out of the hot tub and you're like, it's 10 degrees out.
Oh, then as I say, it was so cold I changed gender.
Exactly.
Literally.
Where did it go?
It's like a scared turtle.
It's like an acorn in a patch of grass.
It was shrinkage.
I was in the pool.
It was cold.
I know. Hey, by the way, I'm Greg, and that's John Alex over there, and we're here to entertain you today with deliciousness about movies, and TV, and music, and all kinds of stuff. Drinking an Arizona iced tea.
You know what? I could still count on the fact that a fucking Arizona iced tea is 99 cents.
It'll always be 99 cents.
No, some places have it for $1.09 now.
They put like a sticker
And
over
what they
it?
did was they went from, what was it? Like, it was like a 20-something ounce, and now I think it's like a 20 ounce.
Bastards.
They decreased the size, but the guy's like, I decreased the size so I can keep the price at 99 cents. So, sorry.
There you go.
Not sorry. I was like, no. It's cheaper for me to buy a fucking Arizona than a bottle of water, which is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Goddamn ridiculous, Gregory.
We could sit around and talk about, like, when I was a kid, we used to drink right out of the hose.
Yeah. I was listening to a comedian do that thing. He's like, dude, when we were kids, and I hate to be the old guy, but when we were kids, school would end in June, and we'd go out on our bikes and wouldn't come back home until September.
That's right.
I was like, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like you didn't come home until the street lights went on.
That's right. Your parents were like, you come home, your parents were like, what are you doing? Get outside.
Go out and play. That was the thing. It was like,
Mommy and her friend are trying to have a good time here.
Yeah, we're playing canasta over here.
Playing some mahjong.
Yeah, mahjong. Do some mahjong there. Yeah, so Yeah, what about my week? Anything interesting happen? Nah, not really. I got my car back.
Nice.
It's all fixed after the smash up.
I've been off from work all week.
Yeah, I mean, we had President's Day.
Or goddamn presidents.
Yeah.
You know, there's a war going on in Ukraine. Give
The Ukraine. I stand for Ukraine. Do you?
I stand to piss. That's about it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I stand about. Yeah, nothing really happened with me. I mean, we are gearing for the big showcase coming up on the 11th. By the way, friendly reminder, get your tickets. They're going fast. You got to go get them. You want some limited edition t-shirts, stickers?
Limited edition.
Get yourself a Maguire rookie
No
card.
Maguire rookie card. Jesus Christ, man. People get us for false advertising.
At this point,
Greedy
if
motherfuckers
If
out
it'll
there.
get people into the place, yeah, Maguire rookie cards and Reggie Jackson ones too.
Yeah. And you get a Reggie Bart.
Yeah, so go on to Sackerson.com, click on Ticket Showcase, and get yourself some tickets, and come support. So let's get down to brass tacks here.
Brass tacks.
Yeah, how about the news? John, you got any news?
This is the one upside to this mic stand instead of the one that we have at my place that's
Yeah.
like attached to the table. I could put my arm on it and use it as an armrest.
Well, there you go. There's always something to it.
There is. News-wise, interesting news. Mandalorian Season 3. We got a premiere date, March 1st.
Yes.
I'm full staff for that. I'm quarter staff for the fact that it's only 35 minutes long. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
They do that with Mandalorian a lot. A lot of their episodes are like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And they count in the
Hey, man. Pedro Pascal's a big thing. He's not cheap.
yeah, he's a rock
Joel.
star now.
He's Joel. He's everything. He's in everything. He's got all the roles.
Him and Jonathan Majors. they're just taking over the world.
Well, I mean, I'm excited about it, but I don't know if I'm more excited about that there's recent rumors related to that Disney has already started filming and is done with all the writing for Book of Boba Fett Season 2.
Oh, are they doing another season?
That's
of Boba
the
Fett?
rumor, is that Disney Plus series Book of Boba Fett 2 might already be written and possibly in the early stage, in early pre-production.
Well, I know I read an article where Jon Favreau said he already wrote season 4.
Oh,
He's like, because we had to figure out where it went.
yeah, of course.
So, I mean, I wouldn't mind a second season of Boba Fett if they would give us what they promised, which was, I mean, they didn't promise us anything, but for the trailers and all that stuff, I was looking for like Soprano Star Wars.
I was looking for badass Boba Fett, but I'm excited about that. The Book of Boba Fett. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I just want badass Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Please.
seriously. I mean, and we know his name is Boba Fett. He doesn't have to tell us like 50 times.
Yeah.
My name is Boba Fett.
I don't know if you knew this. Nick Offerman and Megan Mullally joined the cast of the comic book adaptation, The Umbrella Academy, for their 4th and final season.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So-
I didn't get through season 3. Yeah, I loved that show, the first 2 seasons.
Yep.
Season 3, I started watching it, and I just kind of dropped off.
Yeah, it did.
I liked the way how they explained the transition with Elliot Page.
Yes.
That was good. But then after that, I was just kind of like, I was uninterested. I was just like, eh. Where like season 2, I binged that shit. I watched the whole season in like one weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it, and I loved the comic book. So yeah, I mean, season 4, that's good enough. They can beat it.
In some sad news. Okay. Apparently, Marvel's Agatha, Coven of Chaos,
Good boy.
is unlikely to premiere this year due to unexpected story reasons. I'm guessing it has something to do with the direction that the MCU is going. But I'm going to guess that the story reasons is that there's something to do with the direction the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to take now, and they have to align that
Yeah.
show to it.
I mean, I wasn't really interested in the Agatha Coven of Chaos or whatever the hell it is.
In retrospect, I think she was one of the more enjoyable parts of WandaVision.
Yeah. I mean, she was. I mean, it's not like I disliked her character.
She's okay. So to me, I think I've said this before. The attraction to WandaVision was each week knowing, like, "Ooh, I'm getting a new generation of TV." Mm-hmm. But that only carries you through the first watching. Things like with Agatha, I think, are what would carry me through a second watching of that show.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
I'm just not as excited. Like, oh, the nostalgia of like, oh, it's 50s TV. Oh, it's 60s TV. Like the Brady Bunch and blah.
Yeah.
And 90s, like, Malcolm in the Middle and all those shows. Like, it's the only thing I find interesting enough for a second watch in that show was Agatha. And I think that's why this Agatha Coven of Chaos is going to be kind of popular because people are like, well, I want more Agatha.
Yeah, she was one of the better characters in that show. So
here's crazy. I didn't know about this until today. The HBO Max has ordered a prequel series called Welcome to Derry for a prequel to It.
I did hear about that. Yeah,
I don't know what the story behind it was. I just saw the headline. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it's like a Pennywise prequel, because they did show that in like chapter 2, the Pennywise when he was with the circus and all that stuff. I mean,
Jesus Christ, there was that other series that was all Stephen King universe.
Oh, Castle Rock. And I watched like the first season. It was like the only thing I found interesting enough to care about watching was all the references to all the Stephen King pop culture stuff we know. The dog named Cujo and all that shit. It was an interesting premise, but yeah, it was a lot of look at that. It's like, okay. And then season 2, they did a season 2 where it was supposed to be Kathy Bates, and you're like, okay. Didn't really follow it. I don't know. It is a new trend now that I've seen a lot, and I was going to bring it up as far as HBO Max. I mean, they do put out, like, HBO just puts out, like, quality stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't, where even Disney and all this stuff that they're doing with the comic book stuff, I think they're starting to realize, like, even Kevin Feige said, well, we're going to calm down with all the different things. We're going to kind of limit it a little bit because,
they just
quality over quantity, because, we get excited because we're like, yeah, there's like 500 things, and then they all come out like half-assed,
Yep.
So, I just read something about like they were planning. I didn't even know they were planning to bring back True Blood.
Yep.
And
they
6 Feet
canceled
Under.
that.
They canceled both of them, which I was like,
thank God.
Yeah, because 6 Feet Under, I was talking to somebody about it. That is
perfect ending.
The perfect ending to the show, I think, pretty much of all time.
Oh yeah.
Like they just tied it up in a nice little and I was like. And then with True Blood, I loved True Blood when it first came out.
Me too.
By like season 3 and 4, then it was like, it became like, I love the premise of like, okay, vampires are now walking around the living because we gave them this True Blood stuff, and they can,
they don't have to kill us.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have their own thing, and then, but then like by season 3 and 4, it was like they were werewolves and shapeshifters and fairies. And you're like, what? Stick to the vampire thing. That would have been fine.
Well, it's a series of books too, which I read the first couple of books in that series. It
was freaking tween bullshit. But I don't know. I was glad about that. So with these shows, it's kind of like, okay, like it seems like they're trying to do prequels to this and spin-offs of this, and like Yellowstone. Everybody loves Yellowstone, but it's like. Now we have 1883 and 1923 and Yellowstone and this one. You're like, oh, dude, but fucking calm down.
I will say, on a positive note, the 1883 was a one-off season. Okay. One season, one and done, that's it. Mm-hmm. Because the second season, if you want to call it that, was 1923.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, it all looked. I mean, people rant and rave about the show.
It's really good. They've just renewed 1923 for a second season. Mm-hmm. So whether or not we'll get more Harrison Ford, who knows? So he's still alive.
Nothing can kill me.
Surprised to see me.
You're gonna have to get a.
I got a bad feeling about that.
Never tell me the odds.
We've decoded the intel from the First Order spy. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh my goodness!
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh yes.
So in the movie news here, Warner Brothers apparently they're gonna screen The Flash at CinemaCon.
I heard.
In 2020, which is like 2 full months before the movie hits theaters.
Well, CinemaCon is more of from what I understand, it's not like a Comic-Con or anything. It's right. Only for movie distributors. And
doesn't matter. I mean, once that happens, everything's out. It gets leaked. I mean, how much can you spoil it?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, it shows that they have super confidence in the Flash that they're like, we don't
care if the story gets out of what the movie's like because we're so confident in how fucking awesome this movie is that regardless, everybody's going to want to go see it.
Yeah, I mean...
And want to see it twice.
Yes, exactly. So, like, for them to do that because you can only really screen, from what I understand, you're only allowed to screen one movie full. Like, they do a lot of 15, 20-minute shows of, we'll show you the first 15 minutes of this. Like, last year they showed the first half hour of Lightyear. They showed the first 15 minutes of the new Spider-Verse movie, even though, like, the animation wasn't done. It's really just to get, like, the AMCs and the Regals and stuff to get on board with these movies, and the fact that, Warner Brothers, DC, whatever, is willing to just flop it out and throw it on the table and go ahead, because if it's a lot of time, from what I've heard for, early things about Shazam and Aquaman, like, it ain't good.
No.
Like, it's not good.
Well, maybe that's why in the next piece of news for the Joker 2,
Electric Boogaloo,
they're filming multiple endings. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if it's that because, like, they're going to wait and see where it goes and what the feel is on the movie and what direction they want the ending to go. Or, in case it gets leaked, it's like, yeah, that's one of the endings we filmed. Yeah. We're not saying it's the ending. We're just saying it's one of the ones we filmed. Sure.
Yeah, the Scream movies are really big in that, like, doing multiple endings, because they're just like, they had so many problems with leaks on their scripts that it was just like, they had to do all these different takes and endings and blah, blah, blah. Even the same thing happened with Walking Dead with the whole Negan thing. They shot each person getting hit with bat, because they were like, if it gets leaked, we'll just change it,
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, it's, the problem of the media but I'm excited about Flash. That's like the one that I'm like really.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. I could not care less about Joker 2.
I mean,
the first Joker movie wasn't one I'm going to watch over and over again anyway. I watched it once, and that was one too many times, in my opinion.
Really? I saw it.
It.
I've caught it a few times.
Did nothing for me.
Really? Yeah. Some people either really loved it or just were like indifferent about it. I thought it was great. I thought it was definitely creepy, and one of those movies where you walk out and you're just kind of like. Like, I was like, oh, that was a feel-good movie.
So that's it for my news.
John, you got any news? Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, as far as anything else there, I know that if you go on to our Hey Pal, What's New Facebook page, we have a lot of trailers came out recently.
And yes, it's true. I am ... his father. That was Mark Hamill's post about that, about the machine.
Yes, the trailer, the Red Band trailer for Bert Kreischer's The Machine came out.
Yep.
And I was pleasantly surprised.
I was so happy. We were talking before we got on air. I thought it was going to be one of those, like, they're just going to freaking scriptify his story and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's just a small part of it.
Yeah, because, I knew that he was in it, and then I was like, well, if they're going to do the story, did they get somebody else? And why is Mark Hamill there and stuff? So it didn't make sense at first. Once they put out this trailer, I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. So they tell the story, but then afterwards it's present day, and everybody knows the story. But then the Russian people come back and go, "We got to take you back to Russia." Even though he's playing himself, like, I was impressed by his acting. From what I could see from the trailer,
he's acting.
And Mark Hamill is just freaking. He's such a treasure.
Oh God, dude! Who was I talking to?
Dad, why are you talking so fast? Because I'm on speed.
Oh, I was talking to Brendan about that. I was like, that's the thing I always love about Mark Hamill is, like, so many actors get this, like, one role that makes them famous. And then every time someone brings up, what's up there, Biff Tannen? That guy fucking hates that. It's like, dude, if it wasn't for that role, nobody would know who the fuck you are.
Yep, exactly.
And Mark Hamill's like, if it wasn't for Luke Skywalker, no one would give two shits about me, and I wouldn't have all this career I have. And as talented as I am, I wouldn't have this career without that break that made me. So, hey, the fans love that, and they're going to love everything else I do because of that.
Yeah.
I can't shit on that.
Just embrace it. It's like bands. I call it the Cheap Trick the Flame syndrome.
Wow.
Well, Cheap Trick, if anybody knows, is like one of my all-time favorite bands, right? They're just great. But they had one hit, The Flame, and it was all over the radio in the 80s and stuff, and for years and decades, they refused to do it. Why? Because it was popular? So what?
Yeah.
It's like you know, it was just one of those things where artists go, "Oh, I don't want to be known for that." It's like you got a catalog of hits, man. Don't sweat it. You know, Vanilla Ice don't want to be out there singing "Ice Ice Baby." How many times did freaking Ozzy sing "Paranoid"? Give the people what they want.
That's right. Give the people what they want.
Embrace your stupidity. You know, like Beastie Boys. They finally, near the end, you know, acknowledged the License to Ill, which everybody still loved.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, like they finally did that one video where that video they did with who was it? Danny McBride, and they reenact. It was the Fight to Your Right to Party. They just kind of did the continuation of it. It was genius. I was like, thank you for acknowledging that. We loved it. So yeah, I did, not to go crazy off track, but there were a lot of trailers that came out.
Yes.
So yeah, we did talk about The Machine. I noticed one. I put one on the page. Good old Russell Crowe.
Yes.
There was a trailer. It's called The Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I thought it was going to be the story. Is that the story of the guy behind the movie The Exorcist?
no.
Okay.
No, this movie, it's a fictional tale, as
But
they
based
say.
on true stories from the Vatican.
Based on my, yeah. It's based on
Wow, based on my prostate exam.
based on a. No, it's First of all, Russell Crowe. I mean, what else can you say about him? My other daughter Zoe. We watched that movie Unhinged. Unhinged, the one with the.
The guy with the road rage?
It was Fat Russell Crowe.
Fat Russell Crowe and road
Freaking
rage.
great in that movie.
Dude, in freaking, what is it, Thor Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
He's Fat Russell Crowe as
Yeah.
Zeus.
Yeah, now he's playing this pope with an accent. No, he's not. He's a priest.
A priest.
That reports to the Pope and does all these exorcisms. Now, I watched the trailer.
I love when he's like, you want to know? Talk to my boss. And he gets up and walks off.
He does the accent. It's perfect. I loved it. I watched the trailer and I was like, another freaking exorcism. Like, they can't. All right, so there's Peter Blatty's The Exorcist.
Yeah.
All right. I was talking to my younger daughter today. We were talking about movies that, to this day, still scare the bejesus out of me. The first time I saw The Exorcist, I was 8 years old. I happened to run across it when my cousins were watching it.
No
But,
wonder he has nightmares.
I know. I have a Reagan shirt. I wear it all the time.
What other trailers?
So, yeah, I definitely check out The Pope's Exorcist.
Pope said, pass it on.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's great. I'm hoping that movie, the Exorcist movies that they're planning on with the trilogy or whatever, I hope it's in the same vein as this. 'Cause
Right.
I was like genuinely like, wow, that looks great. Other than that, the other trailer I saw is that for some reason there's Waco fever going on. Netflix has a new documentary about Waco. Didn't they have a TV? They have a TV show about Waco, and now they're doing like Waco Aftermath. They like it's basically season 2 of Waco. Like
Jesus.
yeah, I'm like it looks interesting. To be quite honest, I mean I've never really delved into the whole Waco thing. Kind of like what I did with Chernobyl. I was like, I know it was nuclear and people, whatever, but like I watched it and I was fixated. So I was like, I put out something on there. I was actually going to do a poll going like, should I watch the Netflix, the actual documentary on Waco, or should I watch the Showtime dramatized
Mockumentary.
Yeah, just like the dramatized, like some guy walking around with glasses and a fro. So yeah, those are the only two I really saw. We talked about True Blood. We talked about The Machine, The Pope's Exorcist. The Pope's Exorcist, pass it on.
Pope said, can't pass it on.
As far as like new movies go, like I said,
I haven't seen any new movies.
I'm hoping to go see Cocaine Bear.
Same.
Reviews from what I've heard are mixed at best.
Manny's working tomorrow. He's supposed to get me a Cocaine Bear poster.
Oh, please. We need a Cocaine,
Cocaine Bear poster.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of stuff as far as, besides Cocaine Bear, like we said, March Madness is going to be crazy between that. Then Creed 3 is coming out next week. And then that, and from what I heard, Creed 3 sounds good. Even though it's without the Rocky Stallone. People goof on Sly. I love his stuff. I'm kind of bummed. That's the thing with Creed 3 is that it looks really great. People say it's really good.
Did you see that? Like, speaking of skinny, that fucking Hugh Jackman is giving Ryan Reynolds shit about his Deadpool 3 workout routine that he doesn't fucking have one. I'm like, well, when you look like Ryan Reynolds, do you need a workout routine? You're just fucking in a spandex suit
But poor Hugh Jackman, like I think he just wants to eat a cheeseburger at this point. He's just like, oh my God, I gotta do this.
Well, that's like going
again.
back to The Machine. When you look at like the scenes of like him in Russia, that actor who plays him is all ripped and everything, and then they show him and he's all like fat, and he's like, yeah, like I'm fat. What's wrong with this shirt?
We've all done that. That's why I get fresh, clean thread.
A lot of the TV shows I've talked about in the past couple of weeks, I like watch 1 or 2 episodes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I gave up on them.
Which ones?
The Ark. The Accused.
You do give a lot of shows the benefit of the doubt for like
that
1 or 2.
Accused show. What was the other one? The Abducted. It's that show Alert Missing. I got, what do I have right here in front of me? I have like episode number 8. I'm not gonna watch it.
You got
like
Carnival
ready?
Row.
The Accused. Goodbye. Carnival Row is on season 2. I started watching that. Like this Hello Tomorrow, I'm about to give up on it.
Okay.
The Ark, don't give a fuck.
Wesson Party? Wait, no, that's...
Dude, Wesson Party.
I know, it's beautiful. The only new TV that I watched was You.
Me?
No, You.
I've heard it's a good show.
It is a good show. Season 4 just dropped. They're doing the 2 parts on Netflix. So there's a couple episodes. What I like about this season, though, is that every season before that, you know, he gets obsessed with a girl, then he stalks him down, he ends up killing people and all this stuff. This season is more of a... It reminds me almost like a Knives Out, almost, where it's... You know, he ran off to London. Now he's a teacher. He's under, you know, he's on the run, whatever, assumed alias. You know, he grows a beard. Still rocking the hat, though. Anytime he wants to stalk, he puts the hat on. I don't get it.
It's disguise.
Yeah. It's
I put a hat on, they don't recognize me.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you're not fooling anybody.
He fooled me.
But, you know, he goes to this party. He gets all fucked up. He wakes up next morning. There's somebody dead in his flat.
I get it.
Goes... he's like, I have no reason to kill, but then it turns out he was framed, and now it's like a whodunit. It's like a whodunit, I said.
Okay.
And he's,
Clue.
is his name Joe? Joe is still laying pipe, but,
You want me to go full on into this?
Yeah, we're doing Bad Batchy. Freaking kick it.
All right, look, new episode of Bad Batch. I said it before. I watched it first, and I was like, But then I was like, you know what? I've been really enjoying this show, really getting into it. Maybe I'm missing something. So I gave it another watch.
Okay.
All right. The episode was called Retrieval.
Yeah.
Also known as The A-Team Does Temple of Doom. Because I never thought about this, but the show is the fucking A-Team. Right, I'm watching it, and you know what I'm waiting for as I'm watching for it? I'm like sitting there and I'm watching, and they start going. I see all these kids working in the mine, competing, fighting each other for food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I am literally just waiting for someone to just come in there and just be like,
"Please, sir, I want some more."
Right? I'm waiting for one of the kids to do that shit, and they kind of pretty much do. They got the bowls like, who gets the slop today?
It reminded me of. In The Force Awakens with Rey, 1/4 portion.
Well, there's more parallels in that, right? But this episode showed like how the Bad Batch really, really is just the A-Team in space. And if you do not believe me, I compare Wrecker to B.A. Baracus, down to his like fear of heights / I don't like flying.
I ain't gonna get on no plane, fool.
Ready? Don't believe me? Well,
if he's flying, then we're dying.
If he's flying, then we're dying, right? And then Wrecker says,
Well, I'm not scared of nothing. When I'm up real high, I got a problem with gravity.
right? How many times has Wrecker freaked out from being... And look, don't get me wrong. Wrecker is like my favorite. And then there's things, and I realize like Filoni is fucking genius. Because I'm watching it, and there's this thing that's like... And he says it, and I'm like, that seems so weirdly out of place here. And it's these little Easter eggs that keep like the fans in there. And I feel like subliminally we know what these things are when he pops them in. And this is just one example. Wrecker's sitting there and he says this.
We're wasting our time.
Right? He's like, we're wasting our time. Which I'm like, what? That? It's so random in that spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I did some digging and I found it must be an homage to this.
We're wasting our time.
And I have to believe that Filoni, all of his mastery is like, I'm just going to throw that in there because it'll be like when Luke says that.
It could be, yeah. I totally get your A-Team analysis. Now that you say it, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. It's like
Hunter's Hannibal.
Yes.
You know? So that brings me to Oliver. Not Oliver. I mean Benny. Because Benny is the fucking police. They're going to have some more Oliver. This is that, if you don't know, that's the kid who stole their ship.
Yes.
And the mine that has been abandoned by the Empire. I know, big fucking shock. The Empire comes in, strips a mine pretty much bare, and then takes off and leaves it just sitting there with all the people. But this kid is trying to impress that boss of theirs to get in his good favor. We know he's never going to, because the only way this guy has power over him is the more these kids want from him, the harder they're going to work to try and get his. And it reminded me of in Solo, that orphan group that Han and Kira belong to.
Yes.
Right? It's I think that's a whole nod. Like, there's so many nods like that to other parts of the Star Wars universe, as either shows or movies, also like a lot of common themes that we see. And my favorite little nod, whether it was intentional or otherwise, was like a nod to the Temple of Doom, right? With all those kids working in the mine. You got like a crazy dude taking in a whole shitload of orphans. And granted, in Temple of Doom, he's like kidnapping them. And this, he's like, hey, you guys were left here. Come work in the mine. And he's using them basically as slave labor. And I know in Temple of Doom, we got ourselves a nice good, doing it for a bloodthirsty god.
Galima. Calimari.
Kalima Shakti Day, right? But in this show, it's all for the glowing god capitalism.
Okay.
That's what it's all about. So, look, then we lead, and I'll just fast forward. We get to the part with Omega, who we know is your favorite person in The Bad Batch.
The Omega level on that episode was pretty damn high.
Oh, yeah. But she feels bad for this kid and feels for him. Like, when he's like, it's the only home I know. She's like, the galaxy's got so many things out there you can pursue. And he's like, yeah, but this is my home. Just like the only home she ever knew was on that planet. It gets destroyed. And now the only home she has is her life on the run with the Bad Batch. And I know, like, at the end of this, you know, they out the bad guy leader as lying and ripping them off. The kids all band together, fucking Lord of the Flies style. And they wind up running the mine. And then, you know, like every good Star Wars movie, there's a happy ending, right?
Of course.
Everybody gets their medal, right? Everybody's happy.
What you say?
Poor Chewie.
Well, 'cause you did. What you say?
What you say? Does Chewie get his medal? No. What does Chewie get?
He gets
Shit, that's what Chewie gets. I mean, it made me appreciate the show more when I look at it as like, it's the A-Team in space.
That was great.
That's
awesome.
my hot take on this week's episode. It was good. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
And I'd heard that somewhere before that they compared it to the A-Team, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like watching, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, totally. Now that you say that, I completely get that. So yeah, I mean, it's a show where there are some great episodes, amazing episodes, peppered in with a couple of adventures of the week. And this was kind of like that. I knew it was going to happen because they left it on that cliffhanger from last week. So I was like, all right, well, they're going to continue that. Try to get off the planet, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Chewbacca. What a Wookiee. Yeah.
So that's my hot take.
No, I agree, man. I think it's great. And, yeah, it's hopefully, you know, I was thinking to myself, I was like, they're starting to lose me. I'm not.
Give it another watch under that lens, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like something I'm not hate watching like Fear the Walking Dead. I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday. Bad Batch. Cool. Really, Bad Batch and The Last of Us are the only two that I'm like, must see when they come out kind of thing.
I think they released the runtime of the next Last of Us for this Sunday. And It's like 56 minutes.
Yeah, no, all their episodes have been bangers as far as like time wise, like an hour 10.
I mean, this week's Last of Us was good.
Yes.
It wasn't like super exciting. Nothing crazy, I don't think.
No, I mean there was definitely some.
It was a very emotional episode.
Yes, character development. We see Joel break down as far
Panic
as
attacks.
the panic attacks,
Don't
and
spoil it, Addison.
Which is something new.
yeah, and they took some elements from the second Last of Us, I believe, and
Yes.
used that. Yeah, the whole thing with Joel and Ellie just kind of broke your heart with Ellie, where she's just like, everybody leaves me, blah, blah, blah. And it looks like next week they're doing the whole flashback with
Right. Because now he's injured. Like, they took the thing where he fell on the pipe in the video game
yes,
and made it that he got stabbed. Because it works.
yeah. And somebody had mentioned that too, and it's so funny because like nowadays shows like ours and whatever, it's like people will sit there and nitpick and like, it's like every time I hear movie reviews now, it's just like, can you just say you liked it?
Yeah. Like in the game, he fights with that guy and they're in like the building and they fall off the ramp and he lands and he gets like either a piece of rebar or a piece of the railing through him.
Yeah.
And it goes right through him. And it's like, and then she drags him off and nurses him back to health.
Yeah, I just love all the Monday morning quarterback people where they're like, well, he has a shank in his stomach, and why did you pull it out? You know you're going to bleed out if you pull it. It's like, have you been shanked before?
Yeah. Well, and that's the point in the game too, where kind of the control goes from you and Joel to Ellie, because now she's got to go out and hunt and he's laid up and she's got to like provide for him. So your character doesn't all of a sudden magically develop these skills like in a game. It's like, oh, you've got all these skills to do these things. Like, no, like months have passed.
Yeah.
Where she's out hunting and she's like developing her shooting skill and all that stuff, which is nice that they're gonna, I hate when shows people magically get powers.
Yeah.
Not magic powers or superpowers. It's like all of a sudden it's like, dude,
Oh,
you couldn't shuffle a deck of cards and now you're a freaking Las Vegas dealer out of nowhere. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, everybody says that like with the Kate Bishop thing. It's like all of a sudden she's like a freaking bow and arrow assassin.
Oh, I know.
Out of nowhere. People, well, it's, the essence of time. But no, I'm really, like I said, we were talking about it before we got on mic as far as like Last of Us, where it's very similar to Andor, where it's just like, low punch, low,
Right.
This one tends to be more of like, calm episode, crazy episode, calm episode, crazy episode,
And next week, I don't know if we're going to get a crazy this week or a calm episode or something in between. Because, again, it tells the story of Ellie and how she got bit.
Yeah.
And how all that happened. And, like, she's like, I had to kill spoiler. I had to kill someone, shoot someone once before. And it was her fucking,
Okay, she watched it all.
it was her fucking girlfriend.
Yeah.
She has to kill her.
Yeah.
Because she gets bit and infected and starts going a little twitchy.
Yeah, it seems weird that they're kind of putting this like bottle episode in like episode 8. You're
Yeah,
like,
well,
okay.
But you know what? It's a place where they can tell that story as she's developing a relationship with Joel, and like she had with her girlfriend, and now he's injured and her girlfriend was injured, and where the situations are different. He wasn't bit. He's not going to turn. She was bit, and it's like, oh my God, you're going to turn, then I'm going to turn. And when she starts to turn and Ellie doesn't, it's like, what the fuck? And
Yeah.
it becomes this whole thing. But I think they're paralleling it like that and then using it as a way to show how, like, she develops serious survival skills because now she has to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all for it, man. I mean, I look forward to it every Sunday. It's the only 2 shows, that they're episodic. I mean, once Mandalorian starts March 1st, then the ride goes, then it's like, okay, here we go. Start watching that. But, yeah, I'm excited, man. It's still one of my favorite shows out there. And it just, hey, man, I changed my ringtone to it.
You changed your ringtone?
Yeah, now it's The Last of Us. It ding, 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 ding. You like that? You like that thing?
Oh.
Yeah. So, I guess it might be time.
I was just letting it hang.
I know. Say Whitman now. Wow, that was a loud one.
I pumped up the volume. Pump up the jam. Pump it up.
Why your feet are stomping. Yeah. Yeah, so this week's music news.
Tell me all about the music.
You know, there really wasn't that much stuff that's been coming in. Yeah, you know, you know what? I missed the days.
Calm before the storm, man.
Yeah, you know, I miss the days of like waiting for a release, like being like, oh my god, yeah, oh my god, like running to the record
The new
store.
Metallica's coming, bro.
Yeah. Now it's just like, okay, like, you know,
Look,
now
they
it's-
released another song.
Yeah, now it's a file. I get excited for a file, you know, not going to the record store, pulling off that freaking cellophane and be like, smell that new freaking vinyl smell and looking through the lyrics. Yeah, I know. I'm sounding like an old guy, but freaking deal with it. So, yeah, this week, really the newest stuff that came out or new albums, Gorillaz. The Gorillaz came out with Cracker Island, which I listened to some of it.
I've been there. I live there. I'm a cracker.
I know. I live in Cracker Island. It's called Mayapack.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but I mean, with Gorillaz, you know, what's there to say? It's good. It's, you know, it's that Damien Albarn or whatever the hell you call his name. He's a, you know, I remember talking to one of my friends about.
I've never been a big Gorillaz fan.
No, they're good. I mean, they have some good hits. I mean, it's I like his voice, but it's funny. I was talking to somebody, a friend, where he's a musician, and he's just like, yeah, you know, he was a great songwriter, but like I'm not confident in my voice, and I don't really like my voice. I don't have the range. I said, let me send you 2 albums from like 2 of my favorite artists. I sent him Tom Waits and Neil Young. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
these guys have ridiculous sounding voices and
No range.
the 2 of my favorite artists. Dare I say Gorillaz is kind of like that, where he's just like, it's like you're not, you know, but their music is great.
You're not Whitney Houston singing the national anthem.
No, and look, you don't have to be
Few people
Whitney
are.
Houston. You know, I'm no Steve Perry. I'm not even Fred Perry. I do it. I don't know why. You know, people seem to okay.
I'm not even Perry Mason.
That's right. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out Cracker Island.
will.
It's kind of like for me, it's
Is
like
it on the playlist? That makes life so easy for me.
Yes, yeah.
When you put things on the playlist, I go, let me just go to the Hey Pal, What's New 2023 playlist.
egg salad. Exactly.
Egg salad.
Egg salad. Yeah. Now go to the 2023 playlist. Any of these songs that we talk about, I do put the better ones on there. You know, ones that we kind of go, oh my gosh, which we don't. You know, we're very good as far as like promote what's great, not what you hate. You know,
That's right.
Nobody wants to sit there and this sucks. I don't like it. It's like some people do. Whatever. Other than that, that band that we talked about, Fake Names, has another single out called "Can't Take It." Singer from Refused is new little jam going on there.
Okay.
Capital Karma. It's a new song by Manchester Orchestra. You ever get into the Manchester Orchestra?
No, I don't.
They're calm. They're mellow. They got some. You know, I love Simple Math. That's a great song. They have a new single out. I don't know. Other than that, our shout out there to our boy Daryl, who called last week. We had a great time talking to him. Him and his lovely bride Michelle. The National has a new song out. This one's called New Order T-shirt.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I might be down for that.
Which is funny because they put out New Order T-shirts. The National have like it's the New Order logo, and on the bottom it says the National.
Weird.
They have a song called New Order T-shirt, which you know if you're into. I actually I sent my boy over here one of the songs I'm working on for a new Critically Ashamed record, just because I was mixing it, and he sent it. He goes, "Stop listening to the National."
Oh, Daryl.
No, I sent it to you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and
When?
your response was stop listening to the National.
I thought you sent me one just like today. And
No,
I'm like,
no.
No, you haven't sent me one in a little bit.
No, it was a few weeks ago. I was like, "Yeah, I'm mixing. I'm mixing one of my demos here," and I sent it to him. He goes, "Stop listening to the National."
That's
I was
right.
like,
Hey, look. I already started writing new lyrics for Mallrats.
All right, yeah, new Permanent Hangover album's coming out. Yeah, other than that, there really was. We did mention that Pink has a new record out. I like the Pink.
I love Pink.
Yeah. She was just on Howard Stern. Yeah, Pink has a new record out. It's delightful. I only heard like 1 or 2 tracks of it, but I am going to give it a listen to. Other than that, really, there's, like I said, just singles. The only real full records out are Pink and Gorillaz. And, hopefully soon you'll get some Permanent Hangover. So that's pretty much, you got my rapping skills.
Just looks like a big fat ham. It's time for Greg's Music News.
Yes.
Boobies indeed, everybody. So yeah, it's about that time. It's about that time. Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much once again. March 11th.
The big
that
show.
will be the Sack of Sins showcase going on at the Loft of Poughkeepsie.
That's
Tickets are on sale.
And if you're going to do the VIP tickets, you better do them soon because I got to make those shirts.
Yeah, that's right. We got some special T-shirts there for you for just a measly 10 clams. We sold some merch on the page today.
Nice.
It's from Barry and Doug, but hey, okay, cool. So yes, March 11th, go to sackofsin.com, click on the ticket button, buy yourself some tickets. Yeah, we're hoping for a good turnout. Everybody's psyched. We're selling merch. We got other stuff there. Barry's got some healing vape thing he's got going on. Everybody's shoving.
Is it weed?
Everybody's hawking their wares.
That's all I care about. Is it weed?
Not that I know of. But yeah, it's going to be a hoot and nanny.
A hootenanny.
It's going to be a crazy hoot nanny. So get your tickets.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like, what do you tell your daughter who's got 2 black eyes?
Nothing. She didn't listen the first time.